and you'll hear the awkward warning that will come in.
Infamous.
Do I need to do like Audacity or anything on my end, or are we just going straight through Zoom?
We're just going straight through Zoom. Yeah,
man, the future.
I know, that's the nice thing about it. I even do I post the video. The video comes to me too, so I was like, fuck it, I'll just put them up to
be like, oh no.
I'm glad I look cute. I wanna show off this. This is a meth syndicate right here.
Oh,
nice.
Nice.
Yeah, stop snitching, guys.
Yeah.
Brett, did you show him your carrot?
Yeah,
I needed to show you my carrot.
Is it
functioning? So when I really get laughing, it's gonna go all over the place.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
And Leah, right? Leah.
It's my meowy Christmas shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This is my black t-shirt.
Oh,
nice.
Literally, I have 12 of them,
Silent
and
Night
they're all I
t-shirt.
wear.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you wear anything
Black
else?
Christmas.
No.
No.
I recently bought a pair of khaki pants to throw into my rotation of denim jeans, and it's really throwing me
In
off.
case I have to go to Target incognito.
No, it was actually because I wanted to be able to go to my daughter's school things without looking like a jackass.
Not being the guy in the back where they go, excuse me, sir. Do you need help?
I'm sorry, AA is over in the next room.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I avoid face tattoos,
Yeah.
Those don't age well.
Yeah, my boyfriend has like the full beard and the long hair, and it was getting to the point where everyone's just like, ma'am, do you want to be seated somewhere else? I'm like, he's with me.
Blink twice if you're
awesome.
in distress.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wizard or homeless guy, it's hard to say.
Yeah, I feel that.
This year's been the year of I know you from somewhere, right? And I'm like, nah, I'm just a chubby dude with a beard and long hair. Like we all kind of just
chubby dude with a beard and no hair.
What's that picture I saw the other day where it was like all y'all's handsome boyfriends just look like this under the beard and long hair?
Yeah.
It was just
the
like
beard.
Seth
The beard
Rogen
is
back when he was shaved.
The beard is definitely contouring for men. I have definition.
Yeah,
that's the best way I've ever heard it described. Because
contouring for
really
men. No, that's
beard.
solid. Yeah.
Oh, it's absolutely true. If I didn't have this beard, or at least when I have a goatee, at least it looks like I have somewhat of a chin. If I don't, it's just like nothing.
I look
See,
like
I
a
have a
6-foot toddler.
I have a very pointy chin.
So you're lucky in
Really
that way. I
diving
just
into a
have
lot
a
of male
round head.
insecurities here, and I appreciate it. I think it's good. It's very healthy.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
It looks like it's beard, but this is just chin under there.
It's just it's actual human under there.
Graham is a
What am I supposed to
descendant
do
of the
with this?
pharaohs. Yeah.
That's why I have to grow mine
Podcasts
out.
collide.
Yeah, for sure. I tried to shave mine up to look like Malcolm X the other day, and it worked. But then I shaved off just the tiniest amount right here too far, and I looked so stupid. I was so
Beard
disappointed.
chat. For the record, though, so is it Leah or Leah?
It's Leah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Leah.
funny,
That's
though.
easy enough.
Yes. Although I'm pretty sure like at least 5 people have still called me Lee, and I've known him like 5 years. It's at the point where I can't really correct him anymore. So
That's an interesting way of perceiving the E-A-H like combination. This is Lee.
Lee.
Leh.
Good.
Well, there's
Cool.
also I have a customer that was it Cindy at Tyndall from Sanders Heating. She still calls me Lisa Simpson.
Classic.
It's been like 10 years. She still thinks my name is Lisa Simpson.
There's a bunch of people who either think my name is Rudiger or Justin.
Yeah, but you created that phenomenon.
I created Rudiger.
I
People
want
are
to know
believing the
more.
lie that I put out there, and they're
Yeah,
jackasses for it.
Yeah.
I want to
And
know
only have
more about
Justin
why.
because people don't know how to pronounce my name when they read it, even though they've absolutely had a s'more before.
I was gonna say, who
Graham.
can't pronounce Graham?
It's like the cracker, but
Like the
people are like
cracker.
Graham. I'm like, yeah, nope. So I just say Justin everywhere.
I'd like to know more about how you ended up as Lisa Simpson, though.
Oh, you know what? Yeah.
My name is Leah Simmons, and apparently that
Nope, checks out. Yep,
Yeah,
we got it.
that's all
Got
it
to the
took.
bottom of it.
Enough said.
Didn't know your last name.
Yeah,
now that I
Leah,
do.
not my real name. But,
Yeah,
I grew
yeah.
up in a big
I'm
family,
sorry.
so I'm not picky. I'm not an asshole about it. Like if someone mispronounced my name, I don't give a fuck. Like
Yeah,
some
I
people
didn't
"You
mean to
can't
like out
say
you
Sarah
online.
without the H. Like nobody cares.
No, it's funny though, because we used to work with someone, she still works with them, that always calls her Princess Leia.
I mean,
He's the only-
it's one of
he's
those.
the only one who can call me that.
It's one of those situations where I've read the word 1,000 times, but I've never spoken it, so I just definitely want to make sure I'm on the right page.
Yeah.
You guys work together though. I'm curious about that, man. And you bonded over your similar vibes or what?
We kind of bonded before that. So the way that we know each other is that I'm a roller derby announcer and she's a roller derby skater.
So you guys are fucking cool then. Okay, dope.
Yeah, super cool. That's right. You didn't see that I'm wearing antlers.
We
I gotta go.
Have you seen the tape on my glasses?
Oh,
this has been there for 7 months. So
I
don't
thought that was just a glare.
I used to have it taped up with green tape, and so it would show a little bit of the background.
Oh,
when I would use
like
my
a hole in
green
your head?
screen.
So we're all cool, is what you're saying.
We're all incredibly cool.
I mean, that's what I was edging towards. Yeah. So you guys, the roller derby thing was the connection. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. We used to know each other through roller derby, and then Leah got me a job where I used to work, and then I moved up and I work for the corporate offices now, where she's still at the store.
Jesus, dude. Okay.
Nonetheless, though, friendship. Though, I love the way you can elevate one another.
Well, so when we've been friends for a while, and we've been talking about doing things for quite a while, and that's kind of where the podcast comes from, and kind of what we're going to. Thanks for the transition. So is
Wait,
that
we were recording? I forgot.
Yeah, we started recording. Yeah.
This is a podcast.
I have more questions though, but let's fucking segue hardcore.
No, absolutely.
Really,
I have no problems about going roundabout in circles either. So that's no problems there. But yeah, so that's where we started. We wanted to do a podcast for the longest time. We talked about doing kind of a podcast where we were talking about movies and talking about really lesser known campy titles, stuff like that. And it's like, you know what, that's great, but it's out there, it's been done. So we figured we'd explore a little bit more, and that's why our podcast typically is about, I could get into that. I could get into campy movies. I could get into underwater basket weaving. I could, whatever it is. Yeah, absolutely. So that's where everything came from, and kind of what everything has gone to.
Yeah, I'm also like a serial hobbyist, so like every episode I'm trying something. So
yeah,
but you also write as well, right?
For the fun.
You also write as well, right?
Yep, that's actually how I met Graham, was through like screenwriter Twitter.
That's my awareness of you as well. Is I see you constantly working, man. I'm impressed by your ethic.
I'm not a robot. Don't even start with that.
You said robot. Jesus, okay. Makes me kind of think you're a robot when you offer that information up.
Graham, you are my robot though, so.
Yeah, I do get called a robot often, mostly by Alex. Yeah, we didn't want a generic movie like review or talk about podcast either. So we went with the most convoluted premise that you could possibly have that absolutely pinholed us in a way where we do not know how to proceed. But
sounds good.
So keep on going. Explain a little bit more about your guys' podcast and what you guys do.
Our podcast is called The Rewriters Room, and initially it started because Alex, who I've known for 6 years now.
Yeah, we used to work in a bakery together.
Yeah,
now we hang out.
We would hang out. We worked in the bakery together, and about once a month he would tell me that he had the best idea for a podcast, and it was to rewrite the Star Wars prequels. And then about 5 years into that, I got super irritated with him mentioning it all the time, so I just did it.
That's true.
And gave him what he wanted.
Yeah, I just said, Alex, I'm doing this. Come in.
Yeah, that's not hyperbole at all, man. Because initially, as just an egg, it started out as like, I'll bet rewriting those things, and not from the perspective of like, oh, George Lucas ruined my childhood, but just like they're not good, and I thought that they could be good and at least not contradict the original 3 movies.
Yeah.
So we'd be sitting there making, cake batter and shit, and I'd be like, I think you could rewrite the prequels, And then one day Homeboy loads up with like, I've got Buzzsprout, and I've got, or that's what it's called, right? The host would say, I've got Buzzsprout and buy a microphone and shit. And like, let's talk about it, be about it, right? So he put me to the test and was just like,
Like,
let's
now I have to do
finally
this.
do it. Yeah.
And then he's been here for 72 episodes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Me
Oh,
and
wow.
him have the longest track record for anybody who's ever been on our podcast.
Well, yeah, because you guys also have guests on your show too.
We have guests sometimes,
Yeah,
but
we
we
have
also had a
guests.
third cohort who somehow managed to hate us and bail.
You know what? I don't think that's going to be a bad thing, though. I've listened to the last few podcasts, and including, I think the guy that you're talking about, and I just say he was dead weight.
Wait. Don't say that too quickly. Who are you talking about? Because ours are all the earliest
Oh, man.
episodes.
I have no
Spill the
idea. I'm
tea.
just
If you're
making
talking
shit up
recently,
right
you're
now.
talking about our man Garrison
Stirring the
Davis.
pot. Yeah, dude.
I just
Not you.
tried to
Not
stir the
Garrison.
pot.
Garrison's
Did
a
he
sweetheart.
did he sound like a young boy or a grizzled old man?
He sounded like a grizzled old man. I like the young boy.
Okay. No,
Yeah,
we're good.
yeah.
We're good. Yeah, you're talking about the right guy. Go on.
Yeah, man.
Good.
You know, we've had several reviews on our podcast, and most of it is, yeah, y'all didn't need him.
Yeah, it's fucking brutal.
Three words,
Watching,
fuck that guy.
Yeah, no, really. Somebody left 2 very long comments of just like, dude was boiled chicken and just
Oh my god, that's my new
yeah,
favorite
and, you know,
insult.
just listing
man.
That was
insults.
boiled chicken.
I have
Yeah,
to say
that-
that
I
what's
like
the
how
name of
personal
the
that
guy,
is. As
Garrett,
an
right?
insult.
He's a
What's
he's a guest we
Garrison.
we
Yeah,
have
Garrison.
on Garrison.
Yeah,
He does
Garrison.
some other
he-
podcasts. He does like
He's very knowledgeable.
Behind the Bastards and
Oh, yeah.
It Could Happen Here and
Nice.
stuff. It's fun. We enjoy having him on. But now that we're done with Star Wars, we're gonna have to find new ways to tempt him to
Something
come
else.
on. Because
I
that's the only
honestly,
reason that's
after
all
the
we
first time
wanted.
he came on our show, I was like, he's gonna be sick of us. And then it'd be like,
You just
hey,
kept
Garrison,
coming back.
Garrison, what kind of condiments do they have in Star Wars? And you'd
Yeah.
be like, well, let me tell you.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I love
You
that
think
shit,
you
man.
like tartar sauce? You have
Yeah.
no idea. You're just
I,
like,
Yeah.
okay.
I snuck a prompt on him. I surprised him with the prompt. Like we needed his help to write to make the Life Day meal.
Right.
And he was just like, yeah, okay, I got some cookbooks lying around here. I actually
Yeah,
planned one
Star
of these
Wars
a few years
cookbooks.
ago. And I was
Cookbook.
like, awesome. I knew I didn't need to give you time to prepare.
That's awesome.
He's our ringer, I guess, is what,
Yeah.
is what
he
we're
has
saying.
an
man.
encyclopedic
content.
knowledge of
Bring
Star
Garrison in.
Wars.
Exactly, man.
Oh, that's great. So that's where and we talked about how you guys got started then, and you guys have finished. Yeah, have you guys actually finished the rewrite of
We finished the
Star Wars?
rewrite. I have
Year and a
not-
half. It took a year and a
Yep,
half to write
year and a
3
half to write
films. I
3
just want to say,
films.
if you want to be that, like, if you want to put a timetable on it,
We didn't
within
actually
this-
write any scripts though, but
I mean, we writers roomed it, you know.
we writers roomed it.
Mostly
Close
some
enough.
inappropriate doodles and some cocktail napkins.
Okay, so
Nailed
we have a finale for the first movie, which I'm going to redo for reasons related to the dead weight from earlier.
The boiled chicken.
The boiled chicken.
We
I
cut the
have,
boiled chicken from the script, and goddamn,
Great.
I did a radio drama for season 2 finale for the second movie that came out really fun with all the effects and stuff. And I have not started the one for the third episode because I kind of want to go bigger than I did last time, which was a fairly big undertaking.
I was gonna say, where do you go from there?
I was thinking about trying to
More
write it out
Foley.
and find some voice actors.
yeah.
wanted
I
to
mean, like,
come.
essentially, it's becoming the.
You just pointed at Alex. I don't know who you're
Oh,
next to on
I'm
your
pointing
screen.
to Brett, technically.
Yeah. Yeah, I
I'm
assume
open to
maybe
it
Alex
was
too.
whatever. I'm
There's
open
more
to
talent.
whatever. I just need voices, you know what I mean? Because the only ones I have are this one and this one. So
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
not
yeah,
gonna work
that's my
out.
talent too. Like, there's me, and then there's my mom's voice. That's
And then
really
there's
it.
me.
Yeah.
Cut it. That's perfect. That's great.
No, I got some more voices,
Whole
Alex.
thing.
What are my voices? Oh, I can do Chewbacca as Rick Grimes, Wookiee Rick Grimes, if you will.
But you can't just say it and not do it.
Oral.
Oral.
That is.
I'll
Goes all the way
say
back to the
it.
bakery too, by the
Piece
way.
de
I don't know if y'all
resistance.
know, but
Well, that
bakeries
needs
are
to
boring
happen
as
too.
shit
Next
to work in.
project.
Yeah, if you've ever baked like 500 cakes in a day, there's definitely a lot of times where you're just like, hey,
Yeah,
wouldn't
man.
this be funny?
Wouldn't it be cool if we pretended we weren't scooping cake?
For
I
hours
love
on
that the
end.
monotony of like the cake operation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all great, but it's fucking awful.
Yeah. I worked at another
The finished
bakery.
product is nice.
I worked
Yeah.
at another bakery, and that it wasn't a cake bakery. It was like a French pastry bakery. And
Was
my
it
job,
Lorraine?
my
Shout
job
out
for like,
Lorraine.
no, it's not, but okay.
Shout out Lorraine.
My job for 6 months was making the croissants every day.
Oh my
It
god.
Rolling
took
them
6
tenderly?
hours of just
Fuck.
rolling them out and just like hundreds of pounds of it. And it wasn't even a big bakery. Croissants just suck. They're not worth it. The bakeries do not make money on croissants. They just know that
There's
people won't
labor-intensive
go.
garbage.
People won't go if they don't have croissants. Like if you walked into a bakery and they didn't offer
Labor-intensive
croissants,
garbage is the best thing I've ever heard.
Which
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
refer to my
disagree.
own-
There's a bakery in town that makes these amazing croissants, and they actually limit. You cannot buy more than 2. Like,
Well, that's what I'm saying is that's not the issue.
No.
The issue isn't that people don't want to buy them. It's that they do want to buy them.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
just that
and they
they
wanna buy 'em
require
cheap.
so much labor and stuff to make. Like, and all.
I don't bake anything. Like
I bake.
I'm
I
the
bake
person
all
that
the
will
time.
like buy Rice Krispie bars, put them on like my own plate, and bring them to the bake sale at work. Because fuck that.
Hell yeah.
I'm not gonna
Remelt
burn my house down. 'cause, like,
This
Yeah,
is
I don't
exciting. When you guys have people on, is it usually this disjointed and like all over the map?
This is our
Yeah.
show. This is what we do.
Awesome. Good. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
glad
you
that
make
you
it sound
guys
like there's
agreed
any
to
kind of
meet with
plan or
us.
structure.
See, we try
Yeah.
to plan. We structure every once in a while. About every 4 or 5 episodes, I'll come with something written down, and we'll actually get some work done. And then after that, we'll,
I just-
we,
in the
we
back
are
of my
so
mind-
self-congratulatory about
In the back
like,
of my
"That was
mind,
a
I feel
good
like we're
idea."
derailing their program, dude. I'm like, we're just talking about
It's
shit.
because
This
in
is
the
just
back
me
of our
hiding
mind,
from
we
my
know we're
family.
derailing ours and the hiding from the family. Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Oh
That's why I
shit.
like mute
Okay,
it. Like, oh,
cool.
you can hear someone running around upstairs, but they're fine. Just ignore the
Not
screams.
my problem. Yeah.
Fix it in post.
I have 3 doors between me and any of the child or dogs. I'm
Barriers,
hearing
man.
shit back here.
Yeah, so this
All
is
right,
a
cool.
good opportunity for that. This actually reminds me of another transition. So I'm the king of transitions. If you guys didn't know, I can transition damn near anything.
Love it.
If anything, it's just a dead
Conductor. You're the
transition, but I'll still
conductor
do
of
it.
the orchestra, brother.
Transitions, it's time to transition right into our topic today of good transitions. I could get into that.
Yeah,
Speaking of
See?
getting into that, let's
You-
get into our next topic.
you get it. You get it. So the reason why I was excited to bring you guys on, because I was expecting this kind of disjointedness, and we were talking a little bit about how, wanting to do a podcast, talking about podcasts and the history of podcasting. And I mentioned that I actually started a podcast in 2005. I did it for about 3 years before we finally decided not to do it anymore. And that was our old podcast. We had nothing planned in any of the podcasts. The only thing is that we did two different things. We did we were in the wrestling community. So we were both in independent
God, you
pro
guys just
wrestling.
sound fucking sick. That's awesome.
Oh,
That's
it's
amazing, dude. That's so cool.
And so we had a lot of friends and a lot of people that listened that were also in the wrestling community. So we decided we're going to do an intercontinental rock paper scissors championship challenge. We made it as
Tight.
long as we could for
Of course.
the title. So what we did is we had people mail in or send us messages. Yeah, I have to drink water today.
No, I'm not lording it over you. I was really hot from the hot toddy, and now I need cold beer.
Everybody's just
Hot
waving
toddy to
booze
cold
in your
beer.
face, brother.
I was feeling a little buzzed from the drink, so I figured I needed to even it out with the
I need a
Gotta get a little bit
taster.
of-
What? Don't they have that in Texas?
Yeah, you got to get a Colorado
called
Kool-Aid
more
after you
vodka.
hit a fucking
That's
hot
right.
toddy, man.
or tequila, I
Get your
guess. More
banquet
tequila.
beers.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm
derailed.
interested in the Colorado Kool-Aid. What is that?
Oh, the Silver Bullet Coors is
Oh, got it. Nice.
commonly
nice.
referred
But
to
your
as
Coors
Colorado
Wars,
Kool-Aid.
all right.
Nice. So with the other podcast, we did the Intercontinental Rock Paper Scissors Championship Challenge. We had people mail in or email, I should say, 5 different hands of what they wanted to do, and we had a champion that went from the game to game or episode to episode. It was great. We had
awesome.
European listeners, so that's why it was an intercontinental one.
Yeah.
So it was that, and then we also did a band of the show, and this was the time of MySpace, and we would go into MySpace and just try to find anyone that'd be willing for us to be able to play their songs on a podcast. And every now and then we'd have them come in and interview them so that we could talk to them, and just kind of, it was ways to be able to get actually more people to listen to our show because those fans of the bands kind of had that built-in fan base, and like, hey, make sure to mention that you're going to be on It Radio podcast. And so then we got to know a few people through that. We got to really, I just threw it out there. I just threw out a message to anyone. I got to interview the person that did the documentary of a movie called Fuck, which was just the explanation of the word fuck and where it came from. And it was amazing just being able to do things. So I had a lot of fun doing a podcast. And in 2005, 2006, when it was that early, it was Wild West. It was, you could do whatever you wanted because there was no corporate shit out there to be able to just basically push someone out of the way. So we're a part of a podcast expo. It was started in Ontario, California. We went out there 1 year, and we got to meet all these crazy people that were doing podcasts, just weirdos like us. And the funny thing is that at that time, I was the talent. I wasn't the one that was doing anything regarding the podcast. It was all my other co-host, who his name was Graham, by the way. But it was not spelled the same way. It was spelled the A-E. Yeah.
Like the wrong way.
It's spelled the wrong way.
Yeah.
Shut it down.
Asshole.
Yeah.
What a dick.
So that's the thing that I thought was interesting, that, talking about podcasts and, the future or the past of podcasts. What I would do is I would make small little handouts. So we had different, just like a flyer, 4 flyers to a sheet, cut them out. And I would go to Barnes and Noble, and I would find all the books that say how to podcast, what podcasting is. And I'd put our flyers into every single one of those books.
Guerrilla marketing right there.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I love that about early podcasting was, as a punk myself, I love how DIY that entire thing was, where it was just like community. Bookstores played a part of it. That's always great, man. I love that.
Well, you just slap stickers everywhere.
I throw stickers all over shit, dude.
We so Podcast Alley was a big thing, the big rankings, what they had out there, and I would troll Podcast Alley and talk to all the people that were on the top lists and saying, hey, can we do a promo for you? And I'd create 30-second promos for dozens of podcasts. So my voice, and it was out there all over the place. We didn't get any listeners from it.
It was just like now.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and
no
when you
mentioned
listeners, what is a listener?
When you mentioned the European belt, right? What you were talking about earlier, I did want to say, like, we're very mean to our French listeners, and based on downloads.
Emails from this episode, they're like, sacre bleu.
The
Rewrite podcast.
Baguette.
Zut alors. Yeah.
Gerard Depardieu.
We have like I would say a majority of people that are downloading from France, in different parts of France, and whether or not they're listening to it, I have no idea. But we're always super mean to them, and the downloads never stop.
I
Oh,
assume
man.
nobody listens to us, and all the downloads are
They just forgot to
or they
stop
forgot, or they
subscribing.
forgot to stop subscribing. Yeah, they subscribed and put on auto download, and then
It's
just
all
forgot
bundled
about
into
it.
something. You're just getting downloaded with a bunch of them, and I
Yeah,
have no idea. I don't know why
There's-
anybody
Yeah,
listens to
it's
this. They
a
don't know me.
global initiative during COVID, knowing that everybody would be making podcasts, that they
Yes.
wanted to set it up so that nobody got 0 downloads. So there's just servers run by the
A benevolent nonprofit.
the
that's just
Department
like,
of Health, who
There's like an ass wipe algorithm where it's like we'll just funnel
my
these
mom
fucks
started
into
a company. We're all listening to your podcast, and
Yeah,
you're all
yeah.
great.
yeah.
Thanks, Mom. I hope my mother doesn't listen to our podcast. God help us.
Hey,
Oh
what are
my
you
God.
selling? Chocolate bars? No, but if you want to listen to my podcast, that's
Oh,
me in my
not
mom's
interested.
office. Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like my wife doesn't even listen. I know that.
I'd say my boyfriend doesn't listen. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, I
nobody
think
would.
he's tried to listen, but he's.
I
I
think
not
used
his
she,
to
style.
all the time. Why would I want to?
yeah, she hears me at this energy constantly. So
Yeah.
I assume that she's okay with me coming in here and avoiding her because she's out there avoiding me.
Yeah, I'm usually sitting in a car, and after a
Marriage.
long silence, I'm like, you know, the other fucking problem with the way that they made Obi-Wan, and homegirl's like, shut the fuck up.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Just yeah.
And another thing, yeah, I'm a fucking
Not a
menace.
broken record if my phrasing is different.
I'm just stewing in silence about
I'm
Yeah.
not a
mistakes
broken
that were
record.
made.
I'm just passionate and irritating.
it's jazz.
It's
Passionate
jazz.
and irritating.
Oh, man.
I'm just glad that our podcast now gets to get blessed with Graham's laughter, because it's like my favorite part of your show.
I do laugh quite a
A little
lot.
bit. It's great. A very distinct and infectious
I
laughter.
cannot stop.
Yeah.
I don't know if you listened to the D&D episode, but even when I'm trying to be like DM, I'm in this character, I just laugh the whole
Yeah.
time. It's
I'm
impossible
convinced
to
now that
stop.
those
I'll
episodes
listen
are
to that
torture, dude. Because like roll 17 dice, and then my total is like 4, and
I gotta
I can't
say, the roles could have been more exciting in our most recent Halloween episode.
4 damage. He just sort of winked at you after you
Yeah,
hit
yeah,
him.
yeah, yep,
Oh,
yep.
God damn
The
it.
thing where you schedule it and you end up fighting the first like little thing for fucking 45
It
minutes.
took
'cause you roll
45
so
minutes to
shitty.
beat like a droid, and then it
It
was,
was
like,
like,
and now
yeah.
it's a Hork Bajar. And I'm
There
like,
was
fuck, man.
there was a pretty good handful of peripheral characters during the like big
Kicking
bad
my
guy
ass.
fight.
Yeah.
And it's like they were handleable.
Hold
It
on.
would have been a
Taking
difficult
turns.
fight,
4.
but everybody, them and the players, kept rolling just
sucked.
dog shit. Yeah,
Mhm.
just
It
just the worst. And it was just like,
happens.
I don't know what to tell you. Like I can't turn that into
I was-
something cool.
I was a 6'5" Gungan with incredible
yeah,
abs, and
beefcake
I got the
Gungan.
shit kicked out of me by a janitor, man. Like,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
just
It
a bad
happens.
time, dude.
Yeah, he did. So if anybody wants to go listen to Alex's Gungan
Plugs
character,
right now.
Alex's Gungan character take a sand bath. We got that for you, and or a sand
Something for
shower.
everybody.
It was like
That's
a
the-
sand rub down, but
That's
anyways.
the only part of the prequels that I will stand by. Is that's a cool ass group of little like frog people.
Creatures.
I love them, man.
frog people.
Yeah, but
We're
you know,
frogs.
you guys brought up a good point in your last episode talking about food and eating, and frog legs being one of the things. It's like, yeah, I mean, those Gungans could have some serious frog
Dude,
legs there.
There are some elements of
saying.
like lower life form, higher life form, kind of like Venn diagrams where it's like there are frogs in Star Wars, but then there are also anthropomorphic frogs.
Yeah. But then
Where's-
there's also pigs, but
Yeah,
pig people, and they
then
just eat
bacon
all of
down
them.
the line. Yeah, like
Yeah.
where is the line drawn? Like you don't see that in Star Trek where they're like, we just
don't
cooked up
know.
one of our shipmates.
No, I don't think. I think the closest you get is Worf trying to kill people randomly when he gets, like horny. But
You get a wild hair, and yeah,
It
that
just
happens.
happens.
it just
Yeah.
happens.
Cabin fever. It's fine.
That's
I think
just
a lot
murder,
of people
though.
can relate to that.
Yeah, exactly.
Is
exactly.
it murder if I was hangry?
No,
No, not at all. You're justified.
It
That's
was
how you
an
get off all
oopsie
your murder
doodles.
charges.
There wasn't a Slim Jim in sight. She had
Looks like
no
I
It
just
had to
picked
die.
a big bouquet of whoopsie daisies.
Yep, called a whoopsie daisy.
Oops. Can I get a mulligan on that? But yeah, that's always a weird thing to me is like, number one, there's no fuel in Star Wars. And number two, there are.
Garrison proved us wrong. Remember, Garrison pointed out that there was they were fueling on Cloud City. However, that's more of a plot point than could have been.
They
filled
also
with anything.
mine spice. And I feel like that's just sort of a thing that's like,
Kind of
like the
over.
Kessel Run all has something to do with
Yeah.
spice. Like, come on.
I think the Kessel Run, the fake explanation they use about it being like
wormhole or
around
some
a
shit?
black hole. Yeah, so it's like the distance, like the shortest distance you can make is because your like computer's really fast and can get super close to the black hole. And it's like, I love that explanation because it's cool as hell, but like, nah, they just said some shit. Like,
no, it's just science shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
George Lucas was like a
Future
parsec
shit.
sounds amazing, like parallax. When you think about the character from Green Lantern, Parallax,
Mhm.
and then you actually know what parallax is, which is just like you can't see the other side of a sphere. That's fucking lame, dude. But Parallax the villain is like,
You know, it reminds me like in what is it, Event Horizon, the whole thing with the paper folding. Like that's all I know about physics, and I swear to God, if anybody has a question, I just demonstrate. Like, there, answers all your questions. Just
you
poke.
can use it for anything. Sometimes you gotta poke a pencil through it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, man, it's so deep. Yeah, I learned everything. I know about
easiest thing
physics,
is
I
to
learned from
just
Event Horizon.
fold space in half. Yeah, absolutely.
Duh, you just fold it. Fuck, figure it out, dum dum.
Idiot. I'm not
You
here
ever
to
done
educate
laundry,
you.
moron.
Did I mention that Brett puts the podcast together and I just show up? Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. So
And
Good luck,
today
Brett.
I get to be in
Good
the
luck,
same
Brett.
boat.
right.
But that's why I do this the easy way. I invite you guys to Zoom so they can record everything, and I just put it up. That's why I got involved with Anchor, because Anchor was the easiest one to be able to do that.
Nice.
I'm too controlling to be able to let Zoom do anything.
At least you're honest.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm on my best behavior right now because editing isn't an option.
Yeah, I was hitting my vape and then I was like, oh wait, I can't just edit that out later.
Just cut.
Yeah. There's a podcasting about podcasting. I like 6 months into the podcast, maybe a little longer, I found on GitHub, I found the code to make a noise gate that is so much better than the noise gate that Audacity has. And it's like a dream for editing if you're editing Audacity, because it
Nice.
takes out everything, like it actually takes out everything that hits a certain threshold.
Oh,
But if
nice.
it's like a really loud but very sudden noise, it knows that too. Like you set it to recognize that, and it takes it all out. So like it gets rid of our vaping, it gets rid of Alice's illicit drug use noises.
That's great.
You can cut a bong right out of there
Yep.
real quick.
Yeah. I
You
would-
shit your pants,
No,
it'll cut
that's
it
'cause
right out.
you smoke your bong right next to the microphone. It doesn't even get caught by the noise filter. It's
Not
just
tonight.
Oh,
I'm on my
man.
best behavior.
sometimes I leave it because it's poignant, because it'll just be like me making a point and then like a pause and then just the bong rip.
Well, and I feel like that's the essence of what we've done, right? Because
Why was
you know,
there such
you're
a
right.
long pause?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, what is
Yeah,
such a
yeah,
long pause there? It's weird.
Yeah.
Must be skipping or something.
Ruminating.
Yeah. Really thinking.
Yeah, I'm stewing on this idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's kind of like, I think in my mind, what I take away from what we do weekly is like, sure, I might have oversold it. We don't have a script written. We've done the radio plays, like the old school Doctor Who shit, which is fun as fuck.
That's very fun.
But I think the essence is us pounding our heads against a wall, trying to figure out how to make 3 movies out of throwaway lines from 3 other movies.
Yeah. How do you polish that turd?
Our
No.
conclusion is really
It's
just,
a lot of
we know-
tactful
yeah,
editing.
Yeah.
some parallax, trying to hide things
Yeah.
behind other things.
Put the worst bits in the back.
Yeah. Because we have to acknowledge that George Lucas just wrote shit. He wasn't expecting anything, at least in the first movie. Like all the lines, they had no history behind them, nothing.
Yeah.
Well,
And
go even further back than that, right? His
Go
first
on.
draft, Han Solo was a lizard man.
We could have had a lizard man.
There was a lizard man. Yeah. Luke was a human head on a cyborg body. There was a boy Star Killer. He was the Luke thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Like he was just a visionary, right? He was like Edmund Spencer, just sort of like, do you want to hear a tale? And then it took a ton of other people to whittle that into a coherent narrative.
Yeah.
His ex-wife being one of them in the editing bay, right? Like Lucas is not the filmmaker, the auteur that people want to pay him credit for, but he's an idea man, and that's what's important about all of that. Is he lived outside the box. You know?
He handed like what I assume is hundreds of hours of
just crib
cool
notes,
costumes,
right?
and crib notes, and she was like, okay, and
honey.
turned it into like an amazing movie. I feel like without her, whose name I totally can't remember right now,
I believe
Star
it was
Wars would
Marsha.
Like all
not
the famous
exist
women
the
of
way it
filmmaking
is.
history.
I believe her name is Marsha Lucas.
Hey, this has nothing to do with her being a woman. It has to do with her being an editor, okay?
But also the only person in that outfit that won an Academy Award that year, you know?
Yes.
That movie won editing, not screenplay, directing, best picture. Yeah, it was this woman sat here and solved a Rubik's Cube of a shit fuck and then made a movie out of it.
I can't even imagine. Like having to go through like the whole process of hiring an editor and stuff, because when we shot Valentine Crush, none of the audio was synced correctly.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. So big fuck. And like God bless our editor, like Scott, I don't know how he worked all the magic he did, but between what we could salvage and the ADR that we had to do after the fact, I mean, it worked out. But I'm like, hours and hours and hours of just watching. I mean, I had to go through and write all the subtitles. They're like, I wrote this fucking movie. I had to watch it like 8 times. It was like, God damn it, I'm going insane. Like, I don't know how editors do it. Like,
so I just learned the term MOS. Did you guys film without sound? Was it like silent, or did you guys have audio on set?
We had we shot 2 cameras and we caught audio from the cameras, and then we had a boom mic. And the boom mic apparently, so we had a sound guy, but he couldn't be there the first 2 days we shot. So we had some friends step in, and they just let the audio run the entire time. So we had like 2 full days of audio that was just a nightmare.
Oh, having to do all that.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, is I'd sit down with that. I'd be thoroughly pissed off, and then I would spend like, 2 sessions. Yeah, 2 sessions of 20 hours each, sifting through all of it,
going
and
through
labeling
like
it accordingly. Yeah,
hitting the vape pen and just going. Like I am way too big of a squirrel. I've been like, fuck it.
Here's what I was gonna do for fun. Go on.
I was going to say that's the whole reason why I've had a tough time trying to get into voiceover work. I've always wanted to get into voiceover work. I think I have a good voice for it, but I hate editing. I absolutely hate it because I get paranoid about every single tick, every single noise, every single whatever. And I can't do that. I can't, if I want to have a 5-minute script, I'm going to have to take maybe at the most an hour, but when I have a 5-minute script, it's 2 hours, 3 hours.
For sure.
Long.
No, I feel you. I made, I don't know if y'all watched the little intro video I made for the Star Wars holiday special commentary.
Yeah, it's very nice.
That first part with the typewriter is 17 seconds long. It took me 6 hours to film.
I was going to say that looked amazing. I was going to say, how long did it make you do that?
It took me several hours. I'd attempted to do something similarly before and I'd failed. So I was really excited to get back to it. If anybody's listening and hasn't seen it, it's a typewriter typing by itself for a minute, and then it shoots out the carrier. And you can just see it typed out the rewriters room, our podcast and stuff. But I'm really happy how it came out, and with all the noises, I I like recording the Foley and the noises afterwards. It makes it really, really clean without like, I don't even bother trying to use any of the noises I get from the camera. And then that other part with the where I'm like in the trench coat under the bridge calling up George Lucas, that one took me on a different day another like 6 hours because I'm a terrible actor. My green screen was not cooperating, so I ended up recording it in front of a rear projection screen with my projector and just stood in front of my screen.
Hey, low tech wins the day.
Yeah. I was going to say earlier, something that I've learned a lot if we're talking about podcasting, podcast about podcasting. In general, a good thing to do is think about what you're capable beforehand. Try to anticipate what you know is going to be flawed and working around that so you can mask it and nobody will notice.
He's just describing me.
Okay, so my drinking. Gotcha.
I walked into that bakery and I looked at Alec and I said, I can fix him.
That's like a love story.
Yeah. We are in love.
Podcasting.
We are. My wife has acknowledged that we're definitely in love with each other. Yeah,
absolutely. No, he's absolutely like the description alone of the process is insane because the end result was I was sitting in a bar and he texted to me like the test footage and I was like, God damn, I'll bet that took forever, man. And then I went back to drinking. Like,
yeah.
I saw it earlier today, and I was thinking the same thing. I was just like, "This is amazing," but holy shit, it's a lot of work.
I've been really happy. I have no fucking chill, dude. Zero chill. Which
I love. Like, there was a morning on Twitter you were talking about having like what was it, fucking. Something with your oatmeal, and then like an hour or two later, you're just like, here's my short video I made.
That was a ton of fun. That was that was the first thing I ever. That's the first film project I ever did where I finished it how I wanted to. So I did that. Yeah, somebody. It was like, what did I say it? Did somebody else say it? Somebody was like,
you were like, I'm gonna have like fucking like an energy, like a Red Bull, and then like. Put a bunch of like, ibuprofen in your oatmeal.
No. I remember what it was. It was my breakfast was Zyrtec, a Red Bull, and the leftover from my daughter's oatmeal. And somebody was like, "It sounds like you crushed it up and mixed it all together." So then I like made a video of me crushing it up and mixing.
He said, "I'll show you."
Yeah, I did. It was a lot of fun.
I'll show you, Leah, from South Dakota.
Yeah. Were you the one who said that?
Oh, it was you.
Me. Absolutely. Yeah, you absolutely inspired that thing. And thank you. It was a lot of fun. It was great.
It was delightful. I should be putting drugs in my oatmeal. At least spice it up a little bit.
The Zyrtec
want to
is
not
crucial
have
in South Texas.
All day.
Yeah, them allergies be bad, man.
They get me.
Fucking suck.
Ugh. Yeah.
All right. Well, there's a good lull. What next? Alex, you mentioned you have some questions. I was going to say, was there anything else that you had?
You know, I think we're so far down the road now that like, other than the fact that like, I'm really impressed by your guerrilla days in the early times of podcasting. That's awesome, man. But then more importantly, like the connection between the two of you, I love that it's roller derby motivated. But I guess what was the conversation? What did you guys nerd out on that was like, we could talk to each other? Because that's how initially Graham and I kind of went into it.
Whole, like year and a half.
Yeah.
So we have the same origin story.
Yeah,
is what you're saying essentially.
Yeah, it was just like so it wasn't one straight thing. It was just like vibing.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely that, because you know, with the roller derby helps out because we know if we're part of roller derby, we know that we're weird. So that makes it easy.
Everyone else knows too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when we started working together, we got to know each other a little bit better. We both reported to the same manager, so we would spend a lot of time just complaining about him. And that's where we ended up spending a lot of time with each other. And then Leah magically. So I like a lot of, well, both of us, we like a lot of weird music. But the one thing that Leah did that absolutely stole my heart was I love this metal mariachi band called Metalachi. And
Metalachi rocks, man.
you know
Yeah.
Metalachi.
I know
Perfect.
Metalachi, absolutely.
I don't know it, but as soon as you said it, I knew Alex would.
Yeah.
So they had a concert in St. Paul, Minnesota, which is about 3.5 hours away from Sioux Falls. And it was during the middle of the week, but I said, I want to see Metalachi. I don't know when they're going to come by again. They're originally from California. That was as close they were going. And I didn't want to go by myself. And Leah, I knew she would be down for it. So I was like, I really want to go. I'll buy you a ticket. Please, because I want to go, but I also need someone to keep me up on the way back because I'm the driver. I usually drive everywhere I go. And so we went to that concert, took off right after work, got there just as Metalachi started, and took off at about 11:30 midnight to get back.
Drive back.
To drive back
because my son was like 7 months old, so we're driving up there and I'm literally like running my breast pump in the backseat of the car, like, go ahead and turn the music up.
Classic.
Mama wants to have a beer at the show.
Oh man, that's amazing, dude. I think that's a testament to friendship as well. Yeah, that's like
did you have to pump and dump in the backseat of a car?
Yeah. This is the pump and dump later, but
that's incredible, man. Also, Metalachi's dope. If you love kind of like takes on that musical mode, man, there's also a really great local punk band in San Antonio called Piñata Protest. And they do Conjunto Punk. And then there's a band from LA called the Bronx that have a sort of like alter ego called Mariachi El Bronx. Yeah, they're also amazing, man.
Excellent. I've been getting into bardcore lately, which has been medieval
yeah, absolutely, dude.
Types of music to cover songs of that's been great.
There's that really rad I couldn't pronounce her name if I tried, but after The Witch came out, that like kind of like keyboard operated string instrument thing. I don't even know what it's called, but there's a woman.
Hurdy-gurdy.
Yeah, right. Like there's a woman who does incredible.
Is it a hurdy-gurdy?
No, it's not a hurdy-gurdy. But anyway, this is the least informative.
Don't you have to crank a hurdy-gurdy?
Yes, you do have to crank a hurdy-gurdy.
It's but yeah, I mean that sound is also incredible. It just sounds like Thor fighting or something, man.
Yeah.
Real quick, a piano is a key operated string instrument, by the way.
Cool. That was good to derail the
track.
Nice. Thank you.
I'm just pointing out, guys.
Boo this man.
No
joke. Make me bust out my accordion.
Please do.
Well, then,
Piñata Protest, mad accordion in that band. Really nice.
Awesome.
Hell yeah. I remember, I was so bummed to find out the guy who used to live next to my parents' house, he died recently, but he would always be out there. He was a Hispanic guy, and he was always out there playing the accordion in the middle of the night. I'd go outside, I'd just hang out, have a beer outside, just listening to him.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
It was pretty nice. He was a nice
like
guy.
That. Big family in the corner. They were always having big parties in their yard, and the grandfather that lived there was always out playing his accordion. I'm just like, oh, this is so sweet.
Hell yeah.
I love it.
Yep.
Leah, did you ever learn how to play your accordion?
I can play hot cross buns, and that's it.
Tight.
Well, that sounds like we just started a folk punk band.
But yeah, it's a fucking hard instrument.
Yeah,
Leah has an accordion, and she also has a small harmonica that she usually wears on Fridays, where she can whistle a tune through it.
Tight.
Absolutely.
I used to have my ukulele at work. It was my emotional support instrument.
Are you musically inclined in general? Like, did you do piano or what?
I am terrible at music. I played, like, my mom was big into music, so all of us took piano lessons and stuff. And so I can read music, and I play my ukulele for fun, but I am not good.
Still,
it is fun. I wish my my family, like, I'm trying to think, like my siblings played in like school orchestras and stuff, but they never did it outside of that or anything. So I don't really count it, frankly. But like nobody in my family really played any instruments until I started playing guitar. But like, I don't know, I always thought it would have been fun to have like, you know,
The
just
family band.
somebody plays a
Family
harmonica
band.
and like we don't even have to do it anywhere else, but just like being able to play together. I'm hoping my daughter will want to pick up an instrument. I bet she will, because I have instruments out the wazoo.
You
As
got
you
plenty
tend
of
to have.
instruments.
She
Oh, I was gonna
God.
say, Alex, you're a part of a band, or are you? What is?
I play bass for a band here in San Antonio called The Way the World Ends, and I've been playing bass, like just strictly bass. I adopted that notion of like life is barely long enough to get good at something. So a lot of bass players are like also guitar players, but I only ever wanted to just do the 4-string.
You just wanted to jam out, just be the guy in the background,
the first time I ever plugged a guitar into a bass amp and like hit an open E and it just like punched me in the chest, I was like, this is primal, this is fierce. This is like the lifeblood of the universe is just pulse. And that really kind of sold me on it. So I've been playing bass for, I don't know, 16 years now. And I'm not great by any means. Back to Leah.
You enjoy it, so
I love playing music, but I would say I'm mediocre at best. But yeah, no, it's a great time, man.
So who does the song for your intro?
That is some guy.
Oh,
well, he's a homie that was nice enough to like let us use his work.
Yeah, he let us use his song.
I was still hoping that was going to be you, and I'm just like, it doesn't sound like
I was gonna say I wasn't either, because like it doesn't sound like either of you guys. But
no, it's neither of us. It was just somebody off YouTube. We just asked, and he was fine.
He was totally cool with it. I think
I chopped it up to make it shorter and punchier.
Yeah, I think the motivation more than anything was that like our podcast is a work of futility, and that's kind of the theme of that song is like, enjoy yourself because it doesn't last forever.
Because nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Time is an illusion, which apparently when you're at work and you just tell people that, it's not cool.
No, that's like telling somebody they're in the Matrix, dude. Like you can't just break their world.
You work at like deadlines. When's that flyer due? I don't know. Time is an illusion, Larry.
Tell the next guy to wait for it and stop being a dick.
Have you checked the books lately? Money's not real, guy.
Money's an illusion too. It's all fake and phony.
I paid 6 Bitcoin for a beer, and then when I checked my balance, it was 200 Bitcoin. Nothing means anything.
While you grab a computer monitor and like back out of a window. That's how I imagine that scenario going. Just stealing the least stealable thing in an office.
Those are the conversations you can't have in day jail.
Yeah,
the office is not the place for it.
Oh, excellent. So where are you guys planning on going? You guys going to try to figure it out how to get a new movie to rewrite, or are you still in the process of that?
We're still looking into that sort. Okay.
Nicely done. We're looking into it. He's right.
I'm not editing
that sort of stuff. I said it wrong,
but
I stand by what I meant. We had like a running list. I still think Alex says he doesn't want to do any sci-fi, but I was thinking it would be fun, not really do a rewrite as much as like the way I was thinking about maybe doing it is like looking into Prometheus. I think we were talking about this. Okay.
I was immediately going to say,
you commented on Twitter the other day, and it seemed like you liked the movie. So I'm not going to disillusion you on how I feel about the movie, but I think it's terrible.
I think Prometheus has such beautiful bones, and then everything about it is just...
There's a lot there.
If you watch it with the director's commentary, it makes a lot of sense because you're just like, oh, you guys fucked up this movie, didn't you? Like,
that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. I was listening to the commentary.
Like you said, there's some good bones there, and as somebody who's a huge fan of the Alien franchise, and just like, why did you guys do this?
Why did they?
Well, and I also love the concept. Yeah, I also love the concept of abandoning the xenomorph, which he walked the tightrope on. He was like, I'm gonna show a universe without the xenomorph, and then at the very end, it was like, this is kind of a xenomorph. Like, I
Yeah.
love the idea of what they used to call in the Dark Horse comic books the space jockeys, what they called
Oh,
the
yeah.
engineers in the movie, right? Like, I
Yeah.
loved the idea every time I watched
such
the
a
movie
cool
Alien.
idea.
And every time I've watched the movie Alien, from the first time my mom showed me that movie, and that big husk of a monster is just like busted out in the chest, I'm like, what the fuck is that thing, right?
Yeah.
Because nobody
Yeah,
else
like
on
what
the
are its
story, too.
motivations?
yeah,
Why
nobody
is it
else on the
here? Like,
Nostromo is
everything.
even like shocked by the presence of that thing,
Right.
right? They're
Yeah.
just like, something killed this guy, and that has always blown my fucking mind.
Yeah, I think listening to the commentary really clears up a lot of things. Once it got to the part where it was like so early on and really nothing had happened or was happening, and Ridley Scott was just like, there's got to be an algorithm behind everything, and I was like, oh, you're just a fucking lunatic at this point. Like, what are you even
You're just
talking
fucking
about,
sniffing
man?
glue, aren't you?
Like,
Yeah.
he did it like 2 years after. I wonder if he was still just tired as hell from making that movie, because he didn't have a big crew, did he? I want to say that for most of the movie it was pretty tight.
Yeah.
Because I know there's some stuff, like, obviously, like, they had a ton of sets and stuff.
I think he's just more interested in historical dramas than doing like space shit anymore, man. And he kind of phoned it in, dude.
Well, he was also
I
talking about how he was nervous to come back to the genre, and I was like, maybe you should have been. You should have been more nervous.
Maybe you should have taken this just a little bit more seriously.
Yeah. We took it seriously. Why
Sci-fi
didn't you?
Pretty like hardcore too. Like, people take that genre very. I mean, you guys know.
I mean, I fucking love
you take it
sci-fi,
very
yeah.
seriously. So I think that makes it, like, even as like the screenwriter part of me is like, that seems really intimidating and scary, because my approach to all things is just like, oh, it's just science bullshit. Like, figure it out.
But I think globally speaking, like fantasy in general, right? If you set rules, don't fuck your rules up, man. That's the only thing that suspends disbelief is like. And I don't think Prometheus followed rules. I don't think the Star Wars prequels followed the rules.
Just this
and they're
thing
easy to do, man. Like,
it's this thing. I was reading a like Lovecraft based comic book earlier. I finished it earlier.
Was
and it reminded me of why I'm not
Neonomicon?
No, it wasn't. It reminded me of why I don't love Lovecraft or like Prometheus and a lot of stories like that, where people kind of feel like they're really deep, but really just stuff's kind of happening. And it only feels deep because you have to fill in the gaps yourself, even though there's like not really anything there. I feel, it bummed me out because I saw Green Knight when it came out. I set it up on my projector because I'm still not going places, but like, because that's kind of a movie where a bunch of stuff happens, but it's not focused on a story. It's like it has very clear like feelings and emotion and themes to it, which make up for any lack of story where it's just like stuff kind of happening. Yeah, it builds an atmosphere. It's like you might not know what's going on, but you're along for the journey. Like, you feel like the color and just everything on screen and the sound is just like it doesn't really matter what's going on. I mean, it does, obviously, but like but I feel like Prometheus is just like stuff kind of just happened and it didn't really earn a lot of it. And like scenes where it's supposed to seem like there's like a lot of emotional weight to it, or just things happening. So we thought that would be fun. Where I would want to go from Prometheus would be obviously not a rewrite, but what were the themes and stuff that they were shooting for? You know what I mean? What were they trying to explore in that? Where did they miss the mark? But even just going all the way back to the beginning, because I mean, when we did the rewrites for the prequels, we didn't keep anything really. Like, we were going to, and then we were just like, no, we're just not going to keep anything. We're going to pretend that it's what 1994. And George Lucas was like, hey, I want more money, but I don't want to actually do the directing. And we're like, we'll do it.
I mean, I think the initial premise was definitely like salvage. And then it became clear almost immediately that like salvage was not a thing that could happen.
It was not even worth it. You start chipping it away and it's like, okay, this stuff makes sense. And it's like, okay, but it sucks. Like, it's boring in a movie, like just like having a child, like it's like.
Well, and the bottom line is that it sets an awful precedent, and that the only people that are crucial in that universe are the Skywalkers, right? So what we did was reposit the frame of reference from Obi-Wan's perspective, and I think that's much more charming, right?
Because that's the big thing about our movies is
Obi-Wan gets struck down in the first movie as like a noble sacrifice, and it's like, what is the motivation leading up to that? Like, if you were going to rewrite his history, why would he make that decision in that moment?
Yeah.
And it
So
really kind of opened everything up from there, and that, like,
we
it's
ended up,
his story.
Yeah. We ended up writing like 3 movies more to explain why Obi-Wan would maroon himself on a planet and sacrifice himself for somebody he doesn't really know. And I think they're much more interesting movies of just like, you get the emotion. We tried to write it in a way, and I think we did a good job too, where like we're not stomping on the like moments in the original movies. Like, we still want those to be there. So like those are still, I think we had a lot of fun, and I think it came out really good.
Yeah, and it mostly just came down to like I don't know, genuinely trying to look at why this is an issue, you know, like the Empire is like a huge fucking problem. And then I don't know, I think the way that it comes about in George Lucas's movies is like,
it's just stuff happening again.
Yeah.
It's just kind of stuff happening where it's like, it's this this thing I heard a long time ago about just like shit stories where it's just like, and this happened and this happened and this happened, as opposed to like, this happened but this happened so this happened. And it feels like all those original ones are just like, and then and that's how my daughter tells stories. Like,
that's what it comes down to ultimately, though, right? And I would, and you know, with there being with Leah being a writer, I think the important thing here is that in contemporary like mass filmmaking, right, like the tentpole shit, the story tends to be facilitated by the plot. Where in my mind, I think storytelling is the plot is a result of like, these people care about each other. Like, it's the plot is motivated by drive rather than like, we've got to get to this point, right?
For sure.
And I feel like a lot of filmmaking now is just like, well, we have a problem. If I could condense it even more basic, like stupidity or random acts of or like random happenstance shit is what gets the characters to go like, maybe we should give this a try. And I feel like there was a time where it was like the characters were motivated, they were seeking things out.
Yeah. Here's another thing I had read recently on screenwriting Twitter. I don't know if you caught it. It was just a little thing of like making conflict. So like, somebody walking into a room isn't anything, but somebody walking into a room that they don't want to be in, like suddenly, like just that tiny little tweak, and then it's like you can make a whole fuking story based on that, as opposed to just like,
there's your conflict, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's I see that all the time too. Me and Alex are very distraught by the state of cinema at this moment. I think I really think that Disney's influence in gobbling up all of these like studios and stuff, even if I wasn't super happy with the studios before, I think it's a huge problem. I was joking with my aunt that in 5 years Disney is going to own the rights to the idea of a movie somehow. Like,
oh yeah.
But I also don't want to live my life as like a reactionary either. You know, I feel like if the other end of the spectrum is like Tipper Gore mad about rap,
right?
Then me being mad about like, you're not being honest to the source or whatever the fuck, right? Like, you're not doing it correctly. I don't want to be that guy. It's not that important to me. But at the same time, it's like, I mean, people used to labor over the art of telling a story.
Yeah, now they do a reshoot.
Look at that cat.
Yeah, now they shot in a year, and then they had to do a reshoot in a month because a different movie came out, but people didn't like the thing in that movie, so they had to change it in this movie. And it's like, come on, like just these turnover things. Like, if you took I like Black Widow, okay, but if you took the budget, split it into 5, and gave it to 5 different directors, you'd come back with 4 better movies. Like, you know, and yeah,
and I think the end result of that one specifically is like, make a James Bond movie. Like the fact that she was falling and shooting guns for like 15 minutes from the space, like that's insane. Nobody needs that, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Now I'm in opinion territory. I'm editorializing.
I'm not even mad at directors and crew and stuff so much. It's just there's this environment where like, well, if you want to do big movies, there's not that many people to deal with that aren't gonna like be related to Disney, you know, like
Sure.
like they just have so much influence that it's like I swear Shang-Chi.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi. I really liked that movie up until the very end, and it had a tacked on epic dragon fight. And I really feel like I wonder if they wanted that. You know what I mean? Like I wonder if the directors and like writers and stuff wanted that, or if it was just like, no, you need a Marvel ending. Like you don't get to make this movie if you don't get a
Right.
Marvel ending. And then, you know, they make, because the rest of it was like really good. It clearly like loved Jackie Chan movies.
Mhm.
Like it was very
Yeah.
obvious that there was like a ton of influences by like, you know, actually trying to make a movie based on things you love and enjoy.
Yeah,
And then
man.
like I really can't see somebody being like, who made that, then wanting to go and it be like, and then Aquafina shoots a
then
dragon in the face. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, really? Like
So
Spoiler
I'm gonna
alert.
play devil's advocate a little bit though. Do
Go
you
for
think
it.
that something like that would be able to be created, be made, be produced if it wasn't tied to Marvel? You know, if the movie was on its own like that and it didn't have that ending to it, would it be able to be made? Even though that Disney owns everything, but
yeah.
I don't think that would be as big of a commercial success.
So here's the
Yeah.
thing. If you're asking, would it get made not by Disney, I'd say no. If you were saying, would it get made and Disney had never become what it is today, I'd say maybe. You know what I mean? I'd say that's not unreasonable to think that.
But your
I don't think it's
question,
unreasonable to think that. What's up, Alex?
your question's valid in the sense that like they have clearly declared that there is a cohesiveness, right?
Right.
And you get
And
away
they
with
kind
that.
of have to, they kind of pigeonholed themselves into that. That's
Well,
the problem.
and you get
Yeah.
away with it in the actual medium of comic books because different artists can render different characters, and then there's your like flair. But like they have clearly put out an aesthetic and a vibe for everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most of it culminates in that
marketability
like video
and
game
merchandising.
boss. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, video game boss fights. Yeah.
But
Where it's like
now,
there's a ticking clock, you know,
you
and a
think that there's going
laser.
to be something different now with the introduction on the Marvel side, and I'm thinking the introduction of the multiverse.
I'd be really
You can
happy
have
if they
all
did
this.
that.
You can have different variations, and within this whole universe, now it's going to be okay that it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
That would be awesome.
If
Like
they
I'd be
play
down
it
with
that way, dude, then that is the most fucking
I wish.
brilliant way of setting up like there are
Sure.
rules and establishment, and then the egg cracks, and it's like, oops, rules and establishment are
Whoopsie.
gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
then
cool.
Yeah, and
spider
then
webs out.
you know what?
Yeah.
Again, if they started giving $50,000 to smaller or $50 million to smaller directors, like I bet they'd have a ton of those, and everybody'd have a ton of fun, and people would still go see them because they're banking so heavily on. We spent $200 million on this film. We spent $10 million on marketing. If it's not gangbusters, we're screwed.
Yeah.
And it's just like there's a saying related to this. What is it?
Yeah. So
Well,
the other thing is then how does you know, in your guys' thoughts, how does the streaming services really fit into this? Because I mean, yes, they're kind of and I don't know, maybe a necessary evil right now, because since there is all this, you can't have a major movie come out unless it's a superhero movie. So something else has to pick it up. And I think we're fortunate enough that we have, you know, Disney Plus and Netflix, Hulu, all these other ways, these different mediums that we're able to have these different things out there. And I think it's also one of the ways that, I mean, I find myself watching a lot more foreign films than what I had before.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, I think the pandemic kind of killed the movie theater, the big movie business, because it allowed Disney to gobble everything up. You know, everyone was hurting, and they just took advantage of it. But I think at the same sense,
I have an idea for what you're asking, and it basically comes down to, at least with, because like you said, I've always been sort of a schlock B midnight movie type of guy. A24
Absolutely.
is like one of the best things that's ever happened because you can get like
Yes.
art house genre pictures, you know. But I
Yes.
think what Disney does from here on out, especially with, you know, who knows how long the pandemic's going to keep going on. But I think what Disney does is they lean on streaming, because streaming is now TV, right? Nobody watches TV anymore.
Right.
You put your more kind of like esoteric, we're actually highlighting the filmmaker involved, like Sam Raimi directing Multiverse of Madness. If it doesn't feel like a Sam Raimi movie, then it's going to be
so
disingenuous, you know?
I'm gonna be so bummed. I'm so worried that they're
I
going
agree.
to kill him, like his vision, because like we know what his movies look like.
Yeah.
And if I see a trailer, like,
So I think what Disney,
I'm worried. I'd be
right.
really bummed because I'd really love to see his take on this.
Right. So I think what Disney does is they do the more ambitious kind of small budget things, like Hawkeye probably would be an example of that. I haven't seen it yet, but then when it comes to the big fucking event movies, you charge like $40 a ticket, and then they have like rumble seats, and it's 3D, and it's fucking like it's a 2.5 hour roller coaster ride, right? And that's how you really
like
get
what's on
people into
screen.
theaters, you know? Yeah, like you make it an event, and then everything else is just like filmmakers, and you get to keep like these people doing things that are still tied into the narrative. But then like I think the first time you see like Tony Stark and Star-Lord on screen together, like that's a cool juxtaposition. And I think they need to go back to that, where it's like the smaller figures are smaller budget, and then like when it's an Avengers thing or a world event, because they still have like, you know, I don't know, you could still do House of M, which was a big fucking thing in the comics. Like that would be an interesting story.
One of the things that I think they messed up was having like intergalactic struggles too early on. Like I feel like it's kind of hard to go back from that back to like
a little too big
Deadpool and stuff. Yeah, like
but if that's how you crack the egg, then everything else like, after fucking works, man. You know?
Yeah. I just think it's funny when you're watching some, I can't remember exactly what it is, but like you're watching some of the movies and they don't bring it up, but you're like, oh, New York's getting destroyed right now.
Yeah.
It always cracks me up.
Have you guys watched the What If series on Disney Plus?
I did watch that. I enjoyed that quite a bit. I did. I'm a kind of guy where I'd be happy if they made everything.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I'd be like, I'm never gonna be like, nah, they should make less. They should like I think with the prequels, there's very few movies where I'd be like, that shouldn't have been made. And it's like some of them are just genuine wastes of everyone's time and money, and everybody kind of realizes it. But for the most part, like somebody's gonna enjoy the movie. Like,
and there's also this cultural rewrite with the prequels where it's like Jaws 2 through 4 suck, and we can all acknowledge that. Yeah. I still watch them regularly, but it like they'll never have the same impact as Jaws, right?
Of course.
And there was definitely a divergent path where we could all just say like prequels were silly, right?
I feel like even the people who enjoy them now are still just like
they're still like, yeah, they're
campy,
silly,
like camp enjoy.
Well, I mean, I think the people that really enjoy them saw them in the theater like when they were growing up, so there's that nostalgia tinged experience. You know, they saw Star Wars on the big screen.
I was 10 years old when Phantom came out, and I remember leaving that theater being like, what the fuck? Like I was
I think I saw Phantom in the theater. I don't know how old I was, but I was still like, oh, this is Star Wars?
The only Star Wars movie I ever saw in theaters was Revenge of the Sith. And I went with my Oppa, who got me into Star Wars on Father's Day. And we got a poster that said, "Who's your daddy?" or like, "Who's your father?" or something.
Weird.
Something weird.
Gosh.
Not "Who's your daddy?" It was just Vader, choking you, asking who's your daddy. That checks out.
What kind of theater was this again?
It was
There's a lot of X's on the side.
It was in Times Square.
Fuck, that's funny as shit. What was
this is the day that Graham really found out who his Oppa was.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like, oh God, this is what my therapist has been trying to talk to me about.
I had a breakthrough on the I could get into that podcast, or I could get into this
kind
podcast.
of drama.
All right, let's drop an edit point.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, no, nonetheless, like I remember watching those prequels and still being in the realm of like a child and just being like, man, I don't know if that was the right move, but I think a lot of it took time for me to process why it felt wrong. And I just think it felt wrong because I understand what George Lucas was doing. He was being highly critical of the Iraq War, and I get that, and I dig it. But I don't think it was the proper motivation for what you see in those original 3 films, right? Like those original 3 films operate under the sort of like, Roman Empire spreading, or obviously the World War II reference. Like it was definitely
just fascism in general. It's sort of like, or just authoritarian,
black and white, side and side.
Yeah, it's just like once you have a government that's authoritarian to that level, like everything else is kind of just pure white.
Yeah.
By comparison,
like to make I guess to make Lucas's vision of the prequels work, then the Jedi would have had to have committed some sort of like terrorist act, and then it would be like, well, we need the Freedom of Information Act, and we need Patriot Act and all that shit, and then the Republic becomes the Empire through that. But like, just for for Palpatine to be like unlimited power, like that's insane to me. It's crazy.
Yeah. Just
Excellent.
Politics. Ooh.
Yeah, well, politics.
At least coming out of the mouth of a goddamn Gungan.
Yeah, dude, absolutely.
It doesn't feel as hard.
I'm sorry, that came off a little
harsh.
racist.
I mean, it's rude to Gungans at best. Yeah, it's rude.
At least they're not as dirty as those Tuscan Raiders.
God damn it. God
damn, this turned get us haters all over the place.
One of the characters, Biggs, Biggs, the like Luke's friend from Tatooine, but he got cut from the original movie. Anyways, his son is very racist towards the Tuscan Raiders in our universe.
Shithead, man.
But like low key, like your grandma might be. You know what I mean?
Oh my god. Very.
Not like he spends hours of time online.
Yeah, he's not like making hate videos and stuff, but he's also just like, maybe we should avoid that road. Yeah. For
the record, that's not true. I don't want that. I don't want that being spread around.
Vicious rumors.
Yeah.
All right,
man.
Well, guys, I think we're at a good stopping point because we're about at that time for when our podcast ends.
Hopefully we didn't steamroll you. I'm so sorry.
Hey, no, you guys were good. You guys were good. This is a lot of fun. This is exactly what I was hoping it to be. So, one of the things that I loved about podcasting, helping podcasters is being able to have this and like we said earlier, it's that community. You guys definitely, Leah and Graham, especially with your screenwriting, your writing, that the writers Twitter, the guild. You guys are
that
kind of
guild.
showing that online on the Twitter side of things, and podcasting I think's had that a little bit as well, and that's why I wanted to have you guys on. I wanted to be able to meet you guys and to learn a little bit more about you and what you did, and I'd be happy to be able to have you guys on again later on, especially once you guys get going, and we also talked about the possibility of us coming onto your show too, right?
Absolutely,
I think
man.
That was a lot of fun. I think you tried to segue into it, but once again, me and Alex probably steamrolled you. But
once we get
talking some more, you can come on and talk some more about give us ideas for what we should do for the future of our podcast, because I've decided I don't want to make that decision. So I'm going to have other people. We talked earlier. I have no chill. I want other people to give me ideas that I can then reject until we finally whittle down what I do want to do. You know what I mean?
Well, and as a more enticing offer, I say we talk Prometheus on our show, because we're fucking rapping Star Wars, and then I never want to talk about a goddamn
we should do like a
Ewok
commentary
again.
and watch that together.
I'm down,
Sure.
man. I'm down.
Yeah.
I do. I love it. I'm like pretty sure we have it on Blu-ray because I've watched it so many times. Like I said, I love
rented
it because of its flaws.
Yeah, I rented it from the library because I remembered I could rent movies from the library to watch the commentaries, because I missed the commentaries with streaming. And then I was irritated because Alien it came way after the rest of them, and I couldn't find Alien 3. So I finally picked it up. I still couldn't find Alien 3. I went to put it on my little shelf by my TV with my other movies. Realized that about 7 years ago, my sister gave me all 3 of the first Aliens on DVD.
Atta boy. Atta boy.
And I just didn't even notice.
Nice. Yeah, me and my boyfriend have a fine tradition. Every year for Valentine's Day, we watch Alien. It's our like romantic movie, I guess. I don't know.
Who's the xenomorph in that scenario?
Aren't we all?
You're right. I'm definitely Sigourney.
We all love Sigourney Weaver. It's practically
Of course,
science.
of course. Ridley is, yeah. Anyways,
I was just gonna say thanks, guys. The rewriters, is it the rewriters room or just rewriters room?
it's the rewriters room.
All right,
With an apostrophe, or else sometimes you can't find us.
Okay.
But you can go on Twitter and find us
just
at
go find you guys
Rewrite
on
Pod.
Twitter.
It's a lot easier. Rewrite Pod is a lot easier. I just set up a link tree, so it's link tree /
fancy.
Rewrite Pod, and it'll just be everything there.
Perfect. Excellent. Thanks again, guys, for coming on. I really
course.
appreciate the time. This was
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Jake.
you guys
like,
rock.
meet you guys in whatever passes for real life in 2021.
I'm
Oh yeah, man.
just gonna stare into my
I mean,
computer.
if I come to
and-
Texas, I'll definitely call you because I have zero chill and I'm everybody's friend. So
for sure,
Yeah,
for
man.
sure.
I
Yeah.
feel bad. I was
Remember
in
the
Texas
party?
2 months ago. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
Where were you?
I was all over. I was in San Antonio, but I was in Austin, Houston, San Antonio, Corpus Christi,
over the
Odessa.
place.
That's exhausting.
I was
Yeah,
all over
yeah.
in 1 week. So,
Yeah. Well, I do not. I don't even like driving to like Dallas. I don't want.
I've heard tell that people in like Michigan measure cities by 6-packs.
Oh,
And
sounds like some
you're-
Wisconsin math.
Wisconsin. There we go. Okay.
Yeah,
So
Austin and San Antonio, famous non-drinking cities.
well, no, my point
course.
was simply that you added up all of those cities, and all I could think about was the days on the road. That
Yeah,
you spent.
yeah.
yeah, it is. It is
It's a
absolutely.
fucking giant state.
Yeah.
It is.
No, I spend a lot of time on the road. That's why I get to listen to podcasts.
For sure.
Beautiful,
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
God's
Definitely.
work.
That's
All right.
awesome.
Excellent. Thanks again, guys. Take care.
See you guys.
Yep.
So I just have to
Yeah.
leave, right?
Are we
I don't have to
actually
do anything
leaving?
else?
Yeah,
There's no
this is
upload
it.
or
I'm
anything.
actually gonna leave because I have to go feed my
Okay.
family dinner.
Okay, cool.
We
Yeah.
normally
if you ever
normally
want to hang out
stop
again,
recording.
I don't have a life, so
Wait
We
a
normally
minute, wait a
stop
minute.
recording
Before
and
you
then
take
talk
off,
for like 3
Leah,
hours.
How did
Guys, he's
the,
trying to end. We can't keep talking over each
I
other.
have to know. I have to know. Leah, how did the tortilla soup end up, man?
it was good. It actually was not too hot.
Nicely
I dipped
done.
sour cream in it, so
Good.
I know it was a journey we were all on. For no one listening,
I was worried,
I
man.
mislabeled hot chili or regular green chilies, and they were jalapenos, and they were super hot. And I was in danger of my soup being too hot. And everyone on Twitter jumped in and gave me great advice, and it was good.
Nice.
Sick.
They're
Oh
like,
yeah, I remember.
Yeah, we're all on
now.
my journeys. I literally just talk about
Hilarious.
screenwriting, thrift shopping, and food.
Yep.
Well, we're in soup mode right now.
We're there for
Yeah.
it.
All right. Good.
All right.
Bye, guys.
See you guys.
All right.
All right.
Take care.